Sidebar is the official podcast of the Napa County District Attorney's Office. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sidebar Podcast. My name is Carlos Villatoro, and I'm the Public Affairs and Media Officer for the Napa County District Attorney's Office. Have you guys ever wondered what it's like to work at the Napa County DA's office? Well, my next two guests have some knowledge of that because they are some of our prosecutors who serve on our misdemeanor team, and they have both been here for about a year now. Is that correct?
Yeah, just over a year for me and
7 months for me, so I'm still a newbie.
All right, so we're going to have you introduce yourselves.
Sure. My name is Jay Maloney. I'm a misdemeanor deputy here in Napa County. I started in Napa County in November of 2024, and I'm what we call a letter deputy, which means that I handle all of the general misdemeanors in Napa County with the exception of DUIs. And right now I'm assigned to the back half of the alphabet. So for people with last names in the back half of the alphabet.
Okay.
My name's Elyssa Carr. I am a deputy district attorney. I started November of 2025. I handle all the misdemeanor DUIs for Napa County.
What made you want to become a prosecutor?
I have always wanted to be in the law enforcement world. I grew up with a family very pro law enforcement. My dad's an officer. My brother went on to be an officer.
Wow.
My older sister was a prosecutor for a while. So I very much grew up in the law enforcement world, and I knew in some aspect I would end up in the law enforcement world. And so when I decided to go to law school, that was the obvious choice for me.
Yeah, so it was like a natural progression there. Yeah, what a blue family you have.
Yes.
Jay, what about you? What made you want to become a prosecutor?
Yeah, I had a much less direct path to the DA's office. I started in law school without a particular plan on what kind of lawyer I wanted to be, but very quickly got into mock trial when I was in law school and quickly determined over the course of my first year in law school that I wanted to be in a courtroom regularly. I took a job at the Sacramento DA's office in my first summer of law school, seeing if it was for me, and ended that super into the idea of being a prosecutor and ended up following that all the way through my graduation in law school, working in criminal law, and then ending up in Napa.
Great. So that leads me to my next question is, you could have ended up anywhere in the state, really. Why did you choose Napa to land?
So I feel like I got very lucky. I had a personal connection for someone who used to work in the office and who knew me pretty well, a former prosecutor in the office that advised me that this might be somewhere that I was a good culture fit. He was the one that advised me to take a post-bar job here. So the 10-week period between when I took the bar exam and when I got my results, I spent working as an intern in the DA's office here in Napa. And that was the 10 weeks that allowed me to get to know everybody in the office. And by the end of that, I knew that it was a really great fit for me and that I wanted to be here long term.
Excellent. So tell me, what was the hiring process like here at the Napa County DA's office? And what was the moment that made you realize this is where I want to work?
So for the hiring process, they opened the position for about 2 weeks. I filled out all the paperwork, applied, sent my application in, and then they let me know that I qualified for a first round interview. So I came in, it was a panel of 3 of the deputy district attorneys in the office, and they asked me various questions, scenarios about my experience, and just kind of what I had gotten from the process. And then after that, they let me know that I qualified for a second interview, which occurred with the district attorney and the assistant district attorney. That's more of a personality fit interview. And after that, they let me know that I got the job.
Excellent.
So
that was kind of the same process for me, and I'm sure it was probably the same for you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the fit interviews, yes.
Yes.
Nervous, but no, they were good. They were good. So Jay, looking back on your first few weeks as a prosecutor, is there anything? Well, what was that like, and was there anything that surprised you?
My first few weeks as a prosecutor were great. I was very lucky when we started in that we had a big, well-fleshed out misdemeanor team. There were a lot of people there that could give me some great advice as I settled in, because it can be very much like a jumping in head first type of experience when you first have your first couple weeks as probably an attorney anywhere, but certainly in the DA's office, where I made court appearances on my first day that I had a bar license to do so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't get that at other law offices, okay, guys?
No, you do not.
Well, maybe at a DA's office, but not at just a regular law office.
Yes.
Anyways.
But as far as surprises for me, I had interned with different offices throughout Northern California before I worked here, and Napa was the first time that I worked in what I think most people would consider something other than a large DA's office.
Right.
And one of the things that surprised me coming into a smaller or more medium-sized county like Napa County is how many resources there still were around to help me work up cases. Sometimes it can feel like you have so many cases that they just sort of come to you as they are, but there's a lot of people both here in the office and at other county agencies that are willing to, even on misdemeanor cases, to jump in, to help you out, to get you answers to questions that you have. And early days, I was surprised by how often I was able to have a question that I had met with somebody who knew exactly what I was asking and was genuinely happy to jump in and help me out
you
and get me up to speed.
Yeah, so it's like a tight-knit office that we have here, and everybody pitches in to help everybody out, and so I think that's a great environment to work in. Yeah. Now, if you could go back as a 3L law student, what would be your advice in preparing to work for a district attorney's office?
While I was a law student, I wish I would have participated in mock trial, kind of what Jay was talking about earlier.
Right.
That is not something that I did. I was on Law Journal, which is much more academic in writing and not practicing court appearances and arguing. And I think that could have been very useful starting out as a prosecutor because you do appear in court so much. So I wish I would have taken advantage of that when I was in law school.
How valuable is that court experience, not just for your career as a prosecutor, but just as an attorney in general? How valuable is being in front of a jury and, prosecuting a case?
I think hugely valuable. I mean, I obviously have many friends that graduated law school with me that are now, a year or two into their careers as an attorney, or people I knew in law school that are a few years in. And aside from the people that I know that went into the criminal law world, either to a public defender's office or to a district attorney's office, many of those people still have never made a court appearance. I mean, there are lawyers that come and go 35 years in the profession and never do a jury trial.
Yeah.
1 year in a district attorney's office, you will likely accumulate more jury trial experience than many lawyers will in their entire careers.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to be in a courtroom as part of your career, I don't think there's a substitute for doing this kind of work and getting that kind of trial experience.
What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with Jay, and I also think it develops a specific skill set. It teaches you to think on your feet, to really know the law so you can respond appropriately when things are happening in the courtroom. It teaches you objections and just to really be on your best game. I think courtroom experience is incredibly valuable, and you don't get that anywhere else.
I mean, it's a resume builder for sure, right? You want that kind of experience because it helps you become a better, more well-rounded attorney.
Yeah.
Not just a prosecutor, right? Because we know not everybody goes into criminal law. So Jay, every new attorney remembers their first day. What was your first day like?
I do remember my first day. Like I said, I remember that I made a court appearance that day. I got my results back. I had been working as a post-bar clerk in Napa County and had a contingent offer coming into the end of my clerkship. So we knew that if I passed the bar that I was going to be offered a job. But after you pass the bar, it takes a few days for the California State Bar to actually add your name to the list of people who are eligible to practice. I'm sure other people in my class remember the experience of the State Bar being a little slow in our year to get people's names on that list. So every day I was showing up to the office, logging in and waiting to see if I had been added to the list yet. Yeah. And it was a few days into my job here, I was added to the list. Allison Haley pulled me into a room and deputized me that morning, and that afternoon I headed to court on a case where I had filed the motion as a post-bar clerk and was able to appear as an attorney to argue it.
Talk about anxiety. Where's my name?
I was lucky. I was quick. Some people took almost a couple of weeks to get started, so I was happy.
So every prospective candidate wonders what type of mentorship they would receive at a prosecutor's office, specifically our office. What has been your experience with mentorship and coaching here at the Napa County DA's office?
Mentorship is huge at the Napa County DA's office, which is one of the biggest reasons that I ended up deciding to come to this office. I had the opportunity to clerk and post-bar here as well, and so I knew that going in. Yeah. But it's very big in Napa County. You can really walk up to any attorney, ask them questions. Everyone is always willing to help, happy to help. There's another attorney who does the felony DUIs. I'm frequently in her office asking her questions for help, but everyone is willing to, even my fellow misdemeanor teammates who have significant more experience than I do, I'm always going to them. So,
yeah, so that's great.
It's a very helpful office, very focused on teamwork and making sure everyone is able to do their best.
And that was one thing about our office is that it's small enough where you can just walk into a manager's office and chat with them. Yeah. At a larger office, I would assume, not that I know, but there are many levels of management at a larger office, and it might not be as easy to walk into their office and just chat with them, right? Yeah. So moving on here with our conversation. So you've had a lot of opportunities now to be in a courtroom and handle cases and do trials. What has that experience been like for you?
It's been really great. I was surprised by the number of jury trials that I did when I was coming in here. I'd had people that I knew tell me that going to a smaller or a medium, anything other than one of the big DA's offices in California, that you ran the risk of not really accumulating that trial experience. But I think I've done 14 trials in my first approximately 18 months as an attorney, which
that's a lot.
Is on pace with exactly what I was anticipating coming in.
Yeah.
So I've been very happy with the trials that I've been able to accumulate. I feel like I've learned quite a lot, and I've been able to do a very varied mix of trials, and everything from misdemeanor DUIs to sex assaults and other serious misdemeanor crimes, as well as some felony work in the courtroom as well, which has been great.
So it's run the gamut.
Yes.
What has your experience been like in the courtroom, the trials that you have handled on behalf of the people?
My experience has been great as well. I mean, with each trial, there's so much that you learn, and the learning curve is so sharp when you repeatedly go through trials. I had a time period where I had 3 trials back to back each week, and that learning curve was so sharp because the first time you do a DUI, I had obviously talked to a lot of my coworkers, but it's still, you don't really know what you're doing. You don't really know what to expect. You don't have any background in this, so it's kind of figuring things out. And by week 3, I mean, I had significantly improved on just courtroom demeanor, knowing what questions to ask, how to follow up, what this process is going to look like. And so I think just going back to back was incredibly helpful for my growth as a trial attorney.
Looking back at your days as a 1L in law school, looking back, how was the transition from being a law school student to being in the courtroom? How was that for you?
It's so different. It's so different. When you're in law school, you maybe have like 2 or 3 classes a day. You're studying, but it's pretty casual. I really enjoyed law school. It is busy, especially your first year, but after that you kind of get to do more activities your second and third year. But still very casual. And then you come into a DDA position where you have a lot of cases on, and you're in the courtroom a lot. You're figuring things out. I think the first couple months I was just always in someone's office asking questions because you just don't know. And then as you appear in court, again, the process, just your learning curve goes straight up. The more you appear in court, the better you get. And my day is so busy, and I love that now. I'm always in court or responding to motions or doing subpoenas or filing complaints. There's a ton to do, but that's what I love about this job. I'm never just sitting there bored wondering when I'm going to get to go to court next. I already know.
So this is a question for both of you. For somebody who's considering applying to one of our positions here at the Napa County District Attorney's Office, what would you tell that person about the culture here?
Sure. Sure.
I'll start with you.
Sure. Well, first of all, I would tell them apply.
Yes.
We would love to have you. I've been in a position to describe the culture here many times to people who have, are coming out of law school or are thinking about transferring maybe from another office. And what I've always told them is that the work is varied, the work is interesting, just like it is everywhere. But one of the things that I've always felt was special about Napa was the people. I felt like I connected really well with everybody that worked in the office. It's a small enough office to have a collegial atmosphere where you really do get to know everyone in the office while still being big enough to handle everything that you might see in any office as far as I'm concerned. And I've always felt really lucky to be working with people that I really enjoy being around and that I really enjoy working with every day. So I would recommend the office to anybody who would like that too.
Absolutely.
I agree with Jay. Please apply. The biggest thing that I took from my clerkship and then when I was applying and chose to be a DDA here was the friendships that I formed along the way. Coming from a clerkship to a post bar and then being an attorney, I was able to form those friendships on the front end where I was seeing people outside of the office, making plans with them. Like I genuinely formed friendships with the people that I worked with. And so that was very special to me. And I feel very close to a lot of people in the office. And the office truly cares about you. Your coworkers truly care about you, how you're doing, how your workload is, how they can help you. And I think that's really key when you have this type of job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with everything you're saying, especially the part about applying to one of our positions here. I mean, I think that's going to be it. I don't have any more questions for you guys, and thank you for showing up here on the Sidebar Podcast and being good sports.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
so we hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and if you are curious about working at the Napa County District Attorney's Office, all you have to do is reach out to us. You can reach out to us on our social media channels. We have an X. We also have a Facebook and an Instagram and a LinkedIn where we post most of the jobs that we have open here at the DA's office. You can also visit our website and get information there as well. It really is a great place to work and somewhere where you can really grow in your career as a prosecutor. I mean, you don't have to listen to me, though. You can listen to our attorneys here. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you both for being my guests here on the Sidebar Podcast, and we will catch you guys next time on the Sidebar Podcast.